The rains have come here on the Serengeti plains and the grass is absolutely lush. The animals are loving it. From horizon to horizon, there's wildebeest everywhere, zebras intermixed. It's absolutely a spectacular sight. The Serengeti Plains is undoubtedly the best-known wildlife sanctuary in the world, unequaled for its natural beauty and scientific value. The Serengeti ecosystem is geographically located in northwestern Tanzania and extends to the Kenyan border. Serengeti is derived from the Maasai language meaning endless plains. This classic East African landscape has broad rolling grasslands dotted with lone acacia trees. The openness of this landscape makes it a perfect home for large herds of grazing zebras and wildebeest, in addition to fast sprinting predators like cheetahs. Its diverse geography, riverside forest, swamps, grasslands, and woodlands characterize this landscape. The opportunities for wildlife viewing are unparalleled. If you ever get a chance to visit, don't miss it. The Serengeti is where Africa's mystery, rawness, and power surround you, and where the beauty of nature can be experienced as in few other places on Earth. Right here, one of Earth's most impressive natural cycles plays itself out again and again. Tens of thousands of hoofed animals, driven by the need to survive, move constantly in search of fresh grasslands. The most famous and the most numerous are the wildebeest, and their annual migration is Serengeti's biggest. Wildebeest reach almost 4 feet at the shoulder and weigh 360 to 630 pounds. During the February calving season, more than 8,000 wildebeest calves are born every day. It's in this setting that the animals such as cheetahs, lions, hyenas, leopards, and crocodiles find a virtual smorgasbord of food. And wildebeest run very high on the list of delicacies. But they are not always cooperative when chosen as the food of the day. People are drawn to the Serengeti National Park and Ngorongoro Conservation Area to view the magnificent wildlife, predators and prey, in unrivaled numbers. While the large animals are wonderful to view, it's just as amazing to observe the smaller ones, which are important in making this such a balanced ecosystem. One tiny resident that has a huge impact is the dung beetle. The arrival of the wildebeest sends the industrious little guys into overdrive. They're seen everywhere, rolling fresh dung into balls about 3 or 4 times their size. Then they push the balls backwards for considerable distances. When they've located a suitable patch of soft soil, they rapidly dig a hole and bury the dung and themselves. The life of every animal depends upon the work of these beetles, returning the nutrient-rich dung back into the soil. God's tiny but efficient recycling workers. It is easy to imagine how different the plains would look without them. The soil quality would suffer and disease would spread quickly. These humble recyclers maintain the very essence of the short grass plains on which the famous migration depends. They roll away up to 75% of the dung drop in all of the Serengeti. Elephants are the largest land animals now living. They typically live for 50 to 70 years, but the oldest recorded elephant lived for 82 years. Healthy adults have no natural predators, although lions may take calves or weak individuals. They are, however, increasingly threatened by human intrusion and poaching. Once numbering in the millions, the African elephant population has dwindled to just over 500,000 individuals, according to a March 2007 estimate. Their brains are larger than those of any other land animal, and although the largest whales have body masses 20-fold those of a typical elephant, whales' brains are barely twice the mass. They have an exceptional sense of hearing and smell. The hearing receptors reside not only in the ears, but also in their trunks, which are sensitive to vibrations, and even more amazing, they can hear with their feet, which have special receptors for low-frequency sound. They are famous for their trumpet calls, which are made when the animal blows through its nostrils. Elephants also make rumbling growls when greeting each other. Some of the elephants, the big bulls, weigh 6.5 tons. They've got monstrous tusks. I'm told that the tusks here are larger than many other locations. That means they need a lot of minerals. The road right in front of me here closes every night at 6 o'clock. Why? Because it basically becomes an elephant walk. What are the elephants doing? Well, they're digging in areas like this. I don't know if you can see all the tusk marks. They call them elephant caves. They're digging out dirt. They're actually eating dirt. Moms and dads, your children have eaten dirt. You know why? In this case, because they need minerals. They need minerals to provide for those massive tusks, those huge bodies. It's an interesting diet, and you think about it. God is so incredible. He gives them enough intelligence to search and to dig and find the pockets of minerals that they need. The social lives of male and female elephants are very different. Females spend their entire lives in tightly knit family groups made up of mothers, daughters, sisters, and aunts. When a group gets too big, a few of the older daughters will break off and form their own small group. The life of the adult male is very different. As he gets older, he begins to spend more time at the edge of the herd, gradually going off on his own for hours or days at a time. Eventually, days become weeks, and sometime around the age of 14, the mature male or bull sets out on his own for good. While males live primarily solitary lives, they will occasionally form loose associations with other males. The males spend much more time than the females fighting for dominance with each other. Only the most dominant males will be permitted to breed with cycling females. The less dominant must wait their turn. It is usually the older bulls, 40 to 50 years old, that do most of the breeding. The dominance battles between males can look very fierce, but typically they inflict very little injury. Most of the bouts are in the form of aggressive displays and bluffs. Ordinarily, the smaller, younger, and less confident animals will back off before any real damage can be done. However, during the breeding season, the battles can get extremely aggressive, and an elephant is occasionally injured. During this season, a bull will fight with almost any other male it encounters, and it will spend most of its time hovering around the female herds, trying to find a receptive mate. Before I made it here to the Serengeti, I never thought about it being so beautiful and so lush in many places. It makes me think of the Garden of Eden, how God in the cool of the day walked hand in hand with Adam and Eve. And God caused all the animal creation to come before Adam. And Adam named every single one. Apparently a name that would signify what type of animal, what type of characteristics. I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like, but Adam, perfect from the hand of the Creator, had such intellect, such incredible wisdom. As I look around and see the beauty that's still here, see the animals themselves and think about the mind of God. What must the mind of God be like to create a giant cat, a wonderful cat, so majestic and beautiful, to parrots and buffalo, and well, the list just goes on, and you've got to think the mind of God has to be absolutely infinite and loving, because He created it all for you and for me. I can't wait to get to heaven. The Bible says the lion will lay down with the lamb. Just imagine, no more sin, which means complete harmony among the creation. I'll be able to snuggle with the lions, maybe ride a giraffe, or run with the zebras. When exploring the great wilds of Tanzania, it is easy to become enthralled with the beauty and glory of the creation. But even more exciting is the joy of meeting listeners whose lives have been dramatically affected by the God of creation. It never ceases to amaze me how the Lord speaks to each and every person in ways that call, draw, and eventually win them to His comforting side.